Keanu Reeves just broke his silence on the role Hollywood elites played in the Maui fires, and all of them should be looking for a good lawyer right about now.
Keanu Reeves has recently opened up about a concerning issue involving some prominent figures in Hollywood, like Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
It looks like Keanu Reeves is finally speaking out about how Hollywood elites like Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson are trying to use the Maui fires to scam people out of donation money, and you're not going to believe what he has to say.
Keanu believes that Hollywood culture prioritizes power over ethics, and he's now taking a stand against the hostile elements within the entertainment world.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui that we were texting back and forth. And I read this article that Dolly Parton had given money in her community. And
Keanu Reeves is one celebrity who has always acknowledged the fact that people get angry and frustrated when elites and people of power take from them.
I think we can all relate to the idea of something being taken away and the anger that we would feel.
This has been the case for the Maui victims, with one calling out these said elites for their supposed roles in the fire.
And everybody talking about the satellite city before the fire. Lahaina gonna be the first satellite city. Well, hey, Jeff Bezos, you got what you wanted.
Apparently, this has caused the government and the residents themselves to claim that Maui was not up for grabs.
I just want to remind all you real estate investors around the world, like, Lahaina is not for sale.
While the elites are also begging for funds for Maui, they have been urged to give back their land.
Why do you need all this land to yourself that was untouched by the wildfires? Wouldn't, instead of asking people for money, the better use is to try and help people rebuild their homes?
So what was the elite's supposedly sick role in the Maui fires? Let's get into it. For a while now, several people have been alleging that the devastating Maui fires were intentionally started as a part of a land grab by the elite, and that these said people allegedly paid the government to keep everything quiet. While the cause of the fires hasn't been determined, Hawaiian Electric, the major power company on Maui, was under scrutiny for not shutting down power lines when high winds created dangerous fire conditions. According to reports, Maui experienced high winds from Hurricane Dora in the south, while it was also grappling with a drought, and wildfires in the region have been a concern for a long while. This has not stopped the public from speculating that the disaster had more to it than what met the eye. Some users have been claiming that they saw a beam coming out of the sky and directly hitting the city, with some saying it was a direct energy weapon assault, posting videos to support their allegations. Others joined the laser beam wagon and alleged that they were programmed not to hit anything blue, explaining why so many blue beach umbrellas were left unscathed by the fires. While some claimed it had been an attack, other social media users alleged that elite Maui residents were behind the fires so they could buy the destroyed land at a discounted price. For years, the people of Maui had been holding on to their ancestral land and refusing to sell it, and the public is claiming that these elites had decided to take the land by force. This narrative got sold when claims erupted that the cheaper, lower middle-class houses burnt down directly across the street, and all of the mansions were still standing. Some even suggested that the fire may not only have been an intentional attack, but also a part of the Great Reset, highlighting the potential manipulation of catastrophes by global elitists to further their own agenda, such as implementing smart technology and digital governance in Hawaii. The said smart cities were a part of the 2030 agenda, aiming for people to live in 15-minute cities with easy access to necessities, governed by artificial intelligence and social credit systems, as seen in the example of Dallas incorporating AI cameras. Hawaiian natives themselves have also talked about the smart cities concept, claiming that there was a lot of talk about it before the fires, and now the public feels like the catastrophes and tragedies have been intentionally caused to bring about that change.
And everybody talking about the satellite city before the fire. Lahaina gonna be the first satellite city. Well, hey, Jeff Bezos, you got what you wanted. Oprah, you got what you wanted.
A part of the public is blaming the government, which has allowed most of the people's native land to be sold to outsiders who are not willing to give it back. One of the said individuals is Winfrey, who has been piling up her Hawaii property portfolio. Winfrey reportedly owns about 1,000 acres of land in Maui. She reportedly bought 870 acres on the Hawaiian island for $6.6 million earlier this year, adding to the 100 acres she already owned. According to Hello Magazine, as soon as Oprah Winfrey bought her properties in Hawaii, she began renovations and quickly turned it into a huge project for herself and her designer Ellie. The the public has been on her case for a while now, more so after she set up the Maui People Fund and requested common folk to partake in the funding. Some claim that since she has more than enough land, she could give up a bit of it to help shelter and accommodate the affected victims who are actual natives of the land.
Why do you need all this land to yourself that was untouched by the wildfires? Wouldn't instead of asking people for money, the better use is to try and help people rebuild their homes?
A TikTok video has called out Winfrey, claiming she was putting on a fake front before the people while she was not so nice. The video, originally posted by user Althanope and viewed millions of times, made several allegations, including that Winfrey had previously bought her land for pennies on the dollar. The TikToker alleged that Winfrey hired people to protect her home before the fire started, thus hinting at the possibility that she must have known about the fires.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui.
You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that you somehow managed to hire a private firefighting team to protect your land before the fires started.
She also claimed that while Winfrey was asking people to help her with funding for the people of Maui, she had allegedly hired private security to prevent people seeking shelter at her property.
You're so concerned about what's happening in Maui that instead of taking some of that land and housing even a small portion of those displaced people, you've hired a private security team to keep them off your land.
Due to how popular the allegations became, a spokesperson for Winfrey commented and said they were not true. Answering specifically the allegation that Winfrey bought the land at pennies on the dollar, the spokesperson said, "The land is not undervalued. It is an unbuildable area with no water rights. The land is dedicated to open space and to planting trees to help restore the watershed. It is common knowledge in Maui that the lands have been traditionally used for grazing and has a lack of water. The county would have the records that span decades. It's very steep land, high elevation without roads," they added. The original video has since been removed from the platform. However, reposts with several millions of views are still available, despite the fact that none of the claims in the TikTok were presented with evidence. While Maui residents are still trying to come to terms with what happened, more people are trying to take advantage of their situation, with local officials saying outsiders are attempting to purchase damaged home sites from locals who have lost everything. Officials expressed concern that residents are being approached about selling residential sites by people posing as real estate agents who may have ill intent. This made the U.S. Attorney for Hawaii, Claire Connors, to issue an advisory warning to the public to be wary of possible charity scams in the wake of the Maui wildfires. As the devastation of our communities on Maui and Hawaii Island continues to unfold, local and national organizations have created ways for volunteers to assist, as well as to provide donations of food, money, and other resources, Connors said in a statement. She continued that while such efforts provided critical aid, it's common that during periods of tremendous need, criminals do not hesitate to take advantage of the challenging times to commit fraud and other crimes. She also added that victims are frequently victimized by property theft of businesses and residences abandoned in the wake of such a disaster. Supporting that, Hawaii Governor Josh Green said he had reached out to the Attorney General to explore options to do a moratorium on any sales of properties that have been damaged or destroyed. Moreover, I would caution people that it's going to be a very long time before any growth or housing can be built, Green said. You would be pretty poorly informed if you try to steal land from our people and then build here. It's sad that everyone is allegedly trying to own a bit of Maui, regardless of the tragedy that befell the people there. Thousands of Maui residents have been displaced by the deadly wildfires, with roughly 86% of destroyed structures marked as residential, according to the Pacific Disaster Center. This disaster comes amid what is one of the worst housing crises in America, as the state has one of the highest housing costs in the nation, according to the University of Hawaii Economic Research Organization. The organization found that a household earning the state median income can no longer afford the state's median price condominium, let alone a single-family home. It's about time the people of Maui get their land back, both the affected and those under the care of non-natives. The public feels that the elites should give back the land to help with housing for those displaced. A fan on X, previously Twitter, said, "All of Maui's elites can pool together to rebuild the houses lost. They wanted this to happen to be able to buy the lands that Hawaiians refused to sell. Let's not forget the missing kids." Another said, "I think it is likely that it was the U.S. working with the WEF, the governor of Hawaii, and the other elites like Oprah to land grab for the purpose of building the first smart city city and making Maui a totally green energy island. It makes sense they would blame the Chinese. Remember, this video is based on speculation and opinions. And if you enjoyed this content, remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more exciting updates. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.